Hi, is this your first time coming to our Hqsa South Africa vlog? Well, if it is, welcome. I hope we'll be able to give you some tips and tricks, no matter what kind of machine you have, to get your quilting underway. If you're coming back, thank you. We appreciate all the feedback that we get from you. And remember, keep telling us what else you want to learn about, what else we can help you with. Every little bit helps to make our job easier, and make sure that we're really giving you what you need. So this month, it's almost the beginning of August. It's still chilly out there. I'm desperately hoping that by the next video I'll be wearing a few less layers and becoming my summer self again. Winter's not for me, so the quilting at least is keeping us going, keeping us warm and motivated, and I hope it's doing the same for you. We've got some great tips and tricks and products for you this month. We hope you enjoy it, and keep talking to us. We want to see your quilts, we want to know what you need to know about, and we'll do our best to help you out.
Hi friends, so I'm down to the last 3 feather shapes that I need to fill, and I quickly want to show you how I do that. I do get a lot of questions about marking and how do I mark and what did I mark, and the only thing I mark for this center shape, for this feather shape, is the center of this shape, and for that I use a centering stencil. I am pretty sure if you're in the US you might probably get something like this from Cindy Needham. If you are in South Africa, this is one of the stencils that we have at handyquiltersa.com on the website. You can order centering stencils. I actually think if you watch out for our August vlog, there might be a bit of a discount on stencils. And more on that soon. So I place my centering stencil in the block. I line up these lines with the corners of the shape and get it as central as I can without wasting too much time, because this is not going to be a make or break situation if the center point is 1 millimeter to the left, for instance. And I just pop a dot in the middle. This is fantastic for getting the center of any type of block quickly, accurately. That's just one of the fabulous uses of our centering stencil.
Hi, Telene, Lady Jane Quilting. I'm going to show you today how I did the design on the latest whole cloth that I was busy with this past week. And it is based on a hexagon grid. Now, this is a stencil that we have available in South Africa. I'm not sure if it's available from any other designers elsewhere in the world. But you can always, if you get stuck, order it from us and we will gladly ship it to you. Now, I've pounced, or in actual fact on the previous quilt that I've done, I drew it with my blue water soluble marker because the whole cloth was basically white. And then I did the stitching, and the stitching sequence went like this. First I basically stitched the grid, but I worked in row sections, and then I've included a bit of a fill, tiny fill in it. So the thing with the hexagon grid is that you work in, or I find I work in rows. So I follow a row and work my design back and forth until I'm done with that row, and then I move on. And I also do this in a continuous line method so that you have minimal stops and starts. And this is how I've done it. If you've watched the video of me stitching, you probably would have picked that up. This is just a repeat on that. So find a spot to start. Let's say I'm starting there, and I'm first going to stitch my little grid, and then I'm going to start filling. So I follow the grid with the legs, and I do traveling on the down leg, or what I see as the down leg. So I'll go up and down leg, up, down leg, up, down leg, up, down leg. And then what I did is a continuous line from the center of the legs. So if you do a little eyeball, you will also see that this stencil of ours has a little marking or a gap right in the middle of that line. So what I did is I've went down with my leg and I came back to that halfway mark, and then I did a continuous curve up to the point, down to halfway, up to the point, halfway, point, halfway, point, halfway, point, halfway. Then I came back in the same manner, but down, halfway, point, halfway, point, till I reach the end of that row. Find a logical way to travel and continue. Now I'm closing up this grid basically, and I'm doing it in reverse. So I'm following my hex lines. The leg is double stitching, up, down, leg, up, down, leg, up, down, leg to halfway mark, and I'm doing my curves. Halfway point, halfway point, halfway point, till I reach the end. And this is typically what will happen in your quilt, where this sits against a ditch or against applique work or against a previously stitched line of design work. So you will travel in the ditch and then complete the design. So there will be a little bit of arc there, and I'll see the arc that goes up to the halfway mark, midway point, mid point, mid point, mid point, mid point, mid. So I have 2 rows almost complete. I'm going to start on the 3rd row, which now means I need to do the hexagon stencil first. Okay, I'm on this end. I'm midway, so I'm going to do my midpoint, mid.
We've got a number of promotions for you this month, and one of them that we thought we'd do is based around the Handy Quilter Ruler of the Month Club Rulers, number 5. So if you follow the videos and the things that go on the Handy Quilter YouTube channel, you'll see a while back our very own, we think of her as our very own, Kelly Ashton, made the most beautiful whole cloth quilts using all the rulers from the 5th season of the Ruler of the Month Club. It's called a Heartfelt Whole Cloth Quilt, and we're going to post a link under here so you can have a look at that stunning quilt and her chat with Vicky about it. So there are 5 rulers included in that quilt. There's a heart ruler, sort of a kite-shaped diamond one, a curved cross-hatching one, a very cute wave called the Wiggle Wave, and a small hexagon. So you can also see that Handy Quilter subsequently did 12 different short videos taking you through every step of producing your own quilt, using your own whole cloth quilt, using these rulers. So I have some of them available. Limited stock at this point in time, but if we run out, then we can always order more. So let me know if you're interested. You can order online, but if you wish to order the full set, so if you want to order all 5, then I will give you a 10% discount. In that case, give me either a call or send me an email so that I can apply the discount to it for you. If we run out of stock, then we may need to take some orders, but it shouldn't be too long before I can get those in for you, and we can send them on to you. The price will remain the same. They're $6.10 each, and remember that discount if you go with the whole set. I think it's such a beautiful quilt that Kelly made, and there's so many great ideas in there that you can adapt and you can make your own, and you can use in all kinds of quilts. It doesn't only have to be for a whole cloth quilt. And remember, whether you use a movable machine or a sit-down machine or a domestic machine, you can use these. I'm sitting here with my new handy quilter Capri and a nice printed panel from Lavender Quilting that I quilted on it, testing it out and seeing how it works. We don't have many of them in the country. There are a few, but we have many more of the Sweet 16s. So maybe you have a Sweet 16 and you would love a Capri, but it may not be in your budget. So what's the difference between the two? Okay, the Capri is an 18-inch machine. The Sweet 16 is obviously a 16-inch machine. But the biggest difference for me is actually the table that it comes on. I did a lot of ruler quilting on this quilt, sitting here at the Capri, and the best part, the best feature of this new machine is actually the stitch regulator. It has stitch regulation built into the table that is much more accurate and more user-friendly than the True Stitch that we have with the Sweet 16. So the brilliant news is that you can actually now, or we can now, get an inside table for the Sweet 16. There is a proviso that you need to have a machine that is True Stitch ready, but every Sweet 16 that we have in South Africa that I've brought into the country falls into that category, so it wouldn't be a problem. So you can decide as a Sweet 16 owner to rather upgrade your table to the new inside table, and then you will basically have a machine almost as good as the new Capri 18, but at a fraction of the price. So I have a special running through until the middle of August. The tables will only be ready to ship internationally from the end of August. So we have a pre-order special running for the table, but there's a number of other accessories as well. There's a drawer that comes in underneath here. I obviously don't have one yet because it's brand new. I haven't had the opportunity to receive one. So there's a little drawer that comes in under here. You can put your scissors, your feet, quilting gloves, whatever you use, it's right here at your fingertips. You can have casters to put on the bottom of the table legs. Many of you as Sweet 16 owners don't have a lot of space, so it makes the table that little bit more maneuverable. You can move it out of the way. If it's on wheels, it's easier than trying to lift it around. And the last accessory that they've got is an extension table, a flap that hinges on the side here, that you can flip it up and give yourself extra surface area for quilting those bigger quilts, trying to get everything supported so that it's not dragging. I'll put a flyer down for you that you can look at all the details of the different prices. If you go for the full package of the table, the casters, the drawer and the side flap, you've got about a saving of around 3,000 Rand, but you can also buy the table without the other accessories, although whilst you're at it, why not go for it? So I think it's a really excellent option for the Sweet 16 owners. There's not always been a lot of upgrades and things available for you as a stationary machine owner, but this is really a great one. The quality of the stitch regulation is fantastic, and you've got a nice flat surface here for your ruler work and all those kind of things. So for me it's really a wonderful addition to a Sweet 16. We do have a brilliant video that the educators at Handy Quilter also did, that we will put the link for you that you can watch that video. Just remember the prices and the promotions are different outside of the States, so that kind of information that they mention is not relevant, but the product details and the things that they show you obviously give you a better idea of what you could be getting. I hope you enjoy it, and get in touch if you want more information. You know how to get hold of me. You can email, you can phone me, whatever you prefer. The last product that I want to tell you about this month is the new Mirco Foot, available for all the different machines that have the interchangeable feet. It's pretty much every machine that's available in South Africa. If you can change your feet with an Allen key and put in a Hqsa Foot or a Glide Foot or the couching feet, any of those feet, then this Mirco Foot can also work for you. I don't even have an example to show you because I brought a whole load in and poof, they've gone. All the stock that I had, I don't even have one for myself. You bought mine as well. If you would like to order a foot, please drop me a note within the next week. So I need to know by, let's say, the 7th of August. Then I can put you on a list and make sure that you get one of those feet. So what is it exactly? It's a very pared down foot. There's no hoop at the bottom. It's just pretty much just the shank of the foot almost, but it allows you to get in very, very close if you have any kind of embellishment on your quilt, because your 1/4 inch foot normally doesn't allow you to get within a 1/4 of an inch of any of those things. And it also gives you brilliant visibility. So when you're trying to do very tiny micro quilting, then the foot tends to get in your way normally. This one, because it doesn't have the ring at the bottom, it allows you to see so much better what you are doing. Yeah, so like I said, you guys bought mine, so I don't even have one to show you. I haven't even tried it, but everybody's raving about them. If you want one, let me know fast. They are currently 995 rand, and that I'll keep it at that price for these orders coming in now. So drop me an email, give me a call, whatever is easiest for you to make sure your order is in.
I have a quick technical tip for you today. It is not about the machine itself, but it is about your quilt tops and piecing it. And one thing we would like to encourage you to do is adding a stay stitch to the edge of your quilt borders, no matter which form or shape it ends up being. This is a double wedding ring quilt, and I do have permission to use this customer's quilt as an example. Her piecing has been done immaculately, but sometimes we do hit fabric pieces that's struggling with. So we have different weaves of fabric. Like this is a nice denser, thicker weave of fabric, whereas this one is thinner and therefore more stretchy. And sometimes, and especially so when it is a curved edge or when your fabric has been cut on the bias, there's a lot of stretch and movement, and you'll also see that. The other main time, or the other important time, is when you have a lot of piecing on the edge or on the border of your quilt. There is movement there because we don't always remember to do a reverse stitch when we do the edge piecing. because we fall so in our habit that when we do the piecing for the inside of our quilt top, we don't necessarily do a stop-start with every stop and start of a seam. Whereas on the outside of your quilt, we tend to forget that, and seams can start to pull open. So that's where the stay stitch becomes really, really important. Apart from making sure that all of these ends of the seams stay intact and don't pull open, also it preserves the integrity of the fabric and makes sure that it doesn't overstretch. And you see that a lot with when we load these quilts, that because of the movement of fabric, you see how much stretch and movement happens here. And if I'm just to smooth this fabric out, I'm going to hit puckers and pleats. So adding a stay stitch to the edge will help maintain the integrity of the movement of your fabric. This is an example of a border that's been pieced. Not pieced, a straight edge border that's been added, but there you can see the stay stitch that she's added to her quilts. So this always makes me smile, because I know she is also thinking about making sure that this fabric does not overstretch when we quilt it. And you will see that it does. I do have enough movement for me to manipulate, but it doesn't overstretch, because that stay stitch keeps everything in place. So please add that extra step. It really will make a big difference in the finishing of your product and your quilt, so that you end up with a flat square quilt like you started with.